What's up guys, welcome back to our channel. So this video here is actually going to be kind of a Q&A regarding to nursing. It's kind of all about nursing, so about my job, what I think about nursing, why I became a nurse, and etc. So I actually have a few questions, or quite a few questions that I was asked, and I honestly get questions left and right, which I'm always super thankful for because I personally didn't have anybody to kind of like guide me through nursing. So if you guys have any other questions, please feel free to let me know, and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. So I hope this like angle is working out or whatever. So I guess we'll start off with, why did I choose nursing? So first of all, I would say ever since I was a kid, all I wanted to do was help people. That was like my calling, and I didn't know exactly that nursing was going to be my career choice, but I knew that I wanted to do something where I would help people. At one point I wanted to be a teacher. Then I, went to high school and college, and I kind of knew what teachers made. No shade to teachers, because honestly, they are such a big core to the community, and they, are definitely very, very underpaid. So I would say that was one thing that kind of steered me away from teaching, was that I was probably going to end up paying more for schooling than, what I was going to be making annually, salary, whatever. But I chose nursing because I just wanted to help people. That was my calling. That's what I wanted to do. And to be honest, it was just kind of like meant to be. It's crazy because, fun fact, when I was like 7, I think, my mom had made me a nursing costume. And till this day, like, it's just crazy because I tell my mom, I'm like, what a coincidence, So yeah, I just wanted to help people. I wanted to help the community. My parents didn't go to school, so school was super important for my family. My mom was always like, tienes que ser doctora, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, ma, usted quiere ser doctora. So it was definitely something that was really pushed. And then I am the youngest and the only girl, so I feel like, I had no choice whether I liked school or I didn't like school. Luckily, I liked school, so it wasn't really an issue for my parents. But yeah, next question. Did I always know I wanted to be a nurse? And what did I want to do before that? So like I had said, I didn't know that I always wanted to be a nurse. At one point, I wanted to be a pediatrician as well. I honestly think I wanted to do I wanted to become a chef. I wanted to become like a vet. I wanted to do a ton of things. I wanted to be like a professional dancer. But no, I didn't always know that I wanted to be a nurse, but I'm definitely glad that I chose this career path. How long have I been a nurse? So I have been a working nurse for gonna be 2 years in October 1st. I actually got my license in July of 2017, which was the most exciting moment of my life, or one of the most exciting moments in my life, just because I went through nursing school. Liam was maybe like he was gonna be 1, so I started the program in July, and Liam was turning 1 in August. So I was a baby with a baby, going to school full-time, and then I was working up to when I had Liam, and then I stopped working. I started working part-time, and I ended up taking a break when I actually delivered Liam, a year off of school. I originally was gonna start like right when I had him, but I just thought it was best if I focused on my son. And that was that. So I guess I could give you guys a little backtrack info regarding the schooling that I did. So I actually went to community college. I went to community college right from, straight from high school. So I went full-time. I've always been in school full-time, and I've always worked a part-time job. And I've always freelanced on the side as well. So I went to Glendale Community College, and I graduated with my associate in arts. Then I had Liam, and I took a break, 1-year break. Like I had said, I could have started school nursing school August 2014, but I just didn't want to overwhelm myself. So I started the following year, July 2015. And the program that I did was a concurrent program. So now they're actually trying to steer towards bachelor programs, not just associate degree programs, because by 2020, I believe, by 2020, I think they're wanting all nurses to have their bachelor's degree. So I honestly don't even think they're doing just associate degree programs now for nursing. So the concurrent program, which I ended up going to Northern Arizona University, was pretty much what it sounds like, concurrent. So you're doing both schools at the same time. So you're taking online classes for NAU, and some were at the North Campus here in Phoenix. And then everything else was pretty much online. And then the nursing program from Glendale Community College was actually the actual nursing curriculum. So those are what we call the blocks. So block 1, 2, 3, and 4. There's 4 total blocks. For me, block 1, if I remember correctly, block 1 was a lot of CNA related stuff. So it was the basics, vitals, things like that. And then geriatrics, which is the older population. So I don't know why it took me so long. I was thinking bariatrics. There's so many atrics. There's so many medical terms. Sometimes it like overwhelms you and stuff. So the first block was like introduction, vitals, CNA, a lot of CNA related things, and geriatrics. My second block, I believe, was OB or med-surg. I'm really bad at this. I honestly don't even remember. You pretty much cover everything. You cover pediatrics, OB, women and infants, trauma, med-surg, a lot of med-surg, and then intro and geriatrics. So it's just a lot. In conclusion to that, as a registered nurse, you are able to pretty much float anywhere in the hospital, but you do have to practice within your scope. You have to practice within your scope. So if you are a med-surg nurse like I am, you wouldn't go to the women infant services and take care of a newborn child, because that's not what you usually do on the daily. You do get training. So if you want to go from one department to another, you get training. So it's kind of like schooling over again. And you guys, nursing is never, ever, 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 just set in stone. There's always so much education, and you're always learning, new ways of doing things, and there's new, medicine, new treatments and things like that. So it's just always ongoing, which is a nice thing because it's not repetitive. So now that I kind of left off on that rant, I'm kind of like going all over the place, so I hope I don't confuse you guys, but I wasn't working while I was in nursing school. Luckily, my mom, my dad, Bernardo, like my entire family was pretty helpful. I mean, whether it was taking care of Liam, I would go to school at night. So there was times where I would stay up all night long because I had to do homework, and you have to study. Like, I used to kind of just be smart, and I didn't ever have to study until I got into nursing school. So when they tell you that you have to sit down and study for hours and hours and hours, you have to study for hours and hours and hours. So I would be up all day long taking care of Liam, and then go to school, and then stay up all night studying. And it's just all about sacrifice. So here I am now. It was a long time coming, but I'm super glad and thankful that everybody pushed me and I pushed myself, and I was just determined to do what I wanted to do in life. But I did go into school. I was able to get scholarships and grants. So if you are going into the nursing program, please sit down and talk to your advisor, because they're going to lead you in the correct direction. Luckily, when I was applying for the nursing program, I had an awesome advisor that was able to pretty much break everything down for me, and it just made it super easy for me to, apply and get everything done. As far as how the program is now, I do know that it's very different than what it was before. Now it's very competitive. I think they base it off of points. If you have a degree, if you have, you know, a certain HESI score. If you have a certain GPA, it adds points to your application, I would say. When I applied and when I got into the program, it was competitive, but it wasn't what it is now. So as far as that goes, I really don't know what information to tell you guys exactly, but I would totally recommend for you to go talk to an advisor, number one. Number two, if you guys have any other questions about nursing, please let me know and I can answer them as far as like what it is and stuff, which I'm still gonna get to. But yeah, that's the school part. If you guys want more in-depth information, please let me know, because there's so much that I could tell you guys. But I did go to school for 2 years at community college to do my prerequisites, and then I did 2 years of the nursing program. So a total of 4 years. Non-stop school. Okay, so the degrees that I have, like I said, I have an associate in arts, I have an associate degree in nursing, and then I have a bachelor's of science of nursing. So I have 3 total degrees, and I am planning on continuing my education. I eventually want to get my NP, so I do want to become a nurse practitioner. I don't see myself doing that anytime soon until my kids are probably grown. But as of now, my current plan is probably to work in the med-surg department, which is kind of like a general floor. We kind of get everything. So it's nice because you get a lot of exposure to new things, diseases and all that. And you learn a ton. But I'm planning on being there maybe like a year, like 1 more year, and then probably going to the emergency department. And I also want to get certified in aesthetics, so I do want to do Botox, fillers, and things like that. That is my current plan. I don't know when I will do it, but I am going to get it done. So was nursing school hard? Nursing school was very hard. I remember when I used to work at Jamba Juice. Fun fact, you guys, that was my very first job. I remember one of the girls that worked there, I will never forget. She said anybody, I don't know what nursing school she was planning on going to, but she was like, even a monkey could become a nurse. Like kind of making it seem like any single person, you know, any individual could become a nurse. But then this girl was a manager at, you know, or a lead at Jamba Juice. Like no shade to anything like that, but you know, you're kind of belittling the profession, you know, like, then why are you here? Is kind of how I felt. So it's definitely hard. It's very trying. You're always exhausted, especially if you have a family, you know, and then life gets in, you know, in between. Shit happens, you know, life isn't perfect, you know, you have kids, you just have your life outside of school that kind of just all like mixes in. It just makes everything a little bit harder. You have to find time for you have to find time to do work, you know, homework. You have a lot of assignments. Care plans are outrageous, you know, they're like 20-page assignments that you have to do. But you just have to have good time management skills, and I feel like that's something that I, you know, do really well. That's one of, you know, my really big one of my great traits. Not to toot my own horn, but I feel like I have really good time management. So yeah, I just feel like you have to know how to handle your time and know, you know, when to say no, because it does suck when you're in nursing school. You can't really enjoy a lot of things, you know. Maybe one weekend your family's gonna have like a birthday party or a pachanga. You know, Mexicans always have things going on and you can't go because you have to study, and that's just kind of how it is. And it sucks because I feel like sometimes, or there was a couple of times where people would be like, again, you know, like, yeah, again, you know, it's just, they don't know what you're going through behind closed doors kind of thing. So yeah, nursing school was hard, but it was definitely doable. I did it. You guys can do it too. My kid wasn't even a year old when I was in nursing school, and I did have a lot of bumps throughout nursing school. It wasn't always smooth sailing. Like I said, life, you know, was like punching me left and right. So, but I made it. I did it. You know, a lot of people told me that I couldn't do it. I'm going off of like a little tangent or whatever, but a lot of people told me that I wasn't, you know, gonna do it. I was just gonna be a statistic. you know, that I was supposed to be a mom first. I was supposed to stay home with my kid. But that's not what I wanted for myself. That's not the life I wanted to live, and I knew this was important for me, so I did it. And here I am now. So, do I enjoy being a nurse? Or nurse. Sorry guys, como que se me está, like, I feel like I'm getting out of breath. But do I enjoy being a nurse? I absolutely enjoy my job to the millionth degree. There's definitely times, you know, and days where you're just like overwhelmed, and you could have just a crappy night, you know, like you're nonstop, you barely even get to sit down, you know, sometimes you don't even take breaks, sometimes you don't eat until 10, 11 hours into your shift, you know, so it definitely is a stinker. I work night shifts, so sometimes my days are super opposite, and I'm kind of tired all day because I want to get back into my regular routine. I usually work 3 shifts in a row just because it's easier for me to kind of like adapt to my schedule. And then on the 3rd day, you know, when I get home, I just nap for a little bit and go about, you know, the rest of my day, just because then that night I won't sleep if I sleep all day. So I definitely enjoy nursing. It's always teaching me something new. You know, there's days where patients, you know, are telling you, thank you so much for everything you've done. You advocated for me. You know, if it wasn't for you, I appreciate you so much. And it's really just those little things that remind you why you decided to go into nursing. So I definitely love being a nurse. I love giving care. I love, you know, showing compassion to my patients, their family. I love being there for them, you know, in their most vulnerable moments. You know, sometimes just a hug and just reassurance is the world to them. So it's definitely very heartwarming. Do I regret choosing nursing? I don't regret choosing nursing, but I always tell everybody that is going into nursing to get a job as a certified nursing assistant, so they could kind of get, you know, insight on what the job entails, because it is not all smooth sailing. Like I said, you have really crappy days sometimes, and I feel like sometimes, you know, you may feel underappreciated and, you know, a lot of political aspects of it, but I definitely feel like if you are wanting to become a nurse, become a CNA first, just so you could get insight into nursing, because nursing school and nursing is very different. How did my parents and my suegros feel after I graduated? So I think they're proud. I'm pretty sure they feel proud. My parents, like I said, they didn't go to school, you know, they couldn't. Her mom passed away when she was 15. She had to take care of her younger siblings as a kid, so she didn't have opportunities like I did. My dad, he worked since he was like 8 years old, so he didn't have, you know, the opportunities that I had. So it was always important for my family to, you know, go to school, get a degree. Very traditional, I would say. But my mom tells me, you know, she's proud, and I'm proud of myself for doing this for me. You know, at the end of the day, this is something that I did for myself. And, you know, I just want my kids to be proud. So, yeah. My suegros, they were really happy too. It's, you know, they were excited because, I mean, nursing is kind of cool. It's not, you know, not to brag or anything, but it is a very respected profession. So, yeah. How did Liam feel? It's funny because he gets so excited after, you know, when we drive by my job or whatever. He's like, Mommy's work, she's a nurse. So I know he's proud of me, and I hope, you know, that when he's older, he likes school as much as I did, because I love school. My parents never, you know, struggled with getting me to school or getting good grades or pushing me to go to college or anything like that. So I always tell Bernardo, you know, like, I hope now that I have a degree, he, you know, knows that, him and Ahad, you know, that they have no choice. You know, I will always support my kids. School is not for everybody. I repeat, school is not for everybody. So you do not have to go to college, get a degree, and do it the traditional way. Not at all. But because I, you know, I'm a graduate. I also want to push education for my children because I feel like education is the most important thing anybody could ever possess and hold, and no one could ever take that away from you. So I just hope whatever my kids decide to do when they're older, you know, they're happy and I'm happy. But yeah, school is very important for my children. And yeah, which Bernardo, no shade babe, Bernardo isn't, you know, fond of school, which I'm totally okay with, but I always tell him, you know, whatever you decide to do, just make sure you love it, and that's it. And I tell everybody that. Craziest story or situation. There's so many. I can't really discuss too much, but for those people that go to Mexico and do procedures, which anywhere around the world there's going to be good and bad doctors, but you know, we see a lot of really crazy infections and stuff related to like post-operative procedures. So shots, injections, and things like that, you know, like these become abscesses, which are just like a ball of pus and infection, you know, under the skin. So it's just crazy because it's so popular, and like I just feel like people freely go and do things that, you know, they don't do enough research on. So just, you guys, anything that you do, just make sure you do your research. I am not against plastic surgery whatsoever. I am very for it. I want to do it eventually, but when you do it, make sure you do it correctly and you do your research and you're aware of risk, benefits, and stuff. But I would say, you know, too, we get a lot of crazy stuff. I remember in school, my professors used to say that the med-surg floor was a psych floor. So I'll just keep it at that. We see a lot of crazy things. Scariest situation, I would say, you know, there was a time where I can't really go into detail, but it's just crazy because, you know, as a nurse, you study to gain knowledge about diseases, you know, side effects, medication, you know, what's going to help, what's not going to help, you know, educating your patients. But then sometimes there's things that school doesn't teach you, like how to have compassion and, you know, how to address really scary situations when you've lost somebody you've loved, or a loved one, or, you know, anything like that. And it's just crazy because, you know, we're all human and we all hurt, you know, and it's situations like that where, you know, sometimes we don't even know how to react. You know, we cry, you know, as well when we lose patients, and it's just crazy because, you know, we are with our patients, you know, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, while you are in the hospital. You know, we're always there, your nurse is always there. So it just sucks because sometimes you don't know how to prepare for situations in which you have to be there for a family member, and, you know, you kind of get emotionally connected to the situation as well. So it just kind of sucks sometimes. That's like the flip side to it. But that is kind of why I originally wanted to do pediatric nursing. Then I steered away from it because I would get too emotionally connected to those kids, because I have kids at home, and I feel, sorry, the video cut off, but I just feel like I would bring that home, and I do sometimes already, and I don't want to do that for the sake of my sanity. Okay, so how did I study for the NCLEX? So yes, when you graduate with your degree, your nursing degree, you are, you know, a college graduate, university graduate, but you still need to take the NCLEX exam, which is the nursing certified, or the nursing licensure exam. So honestly, when you take the NCLEX exam, it's kind of like you know it or you don't. So my only recommendation is when you take that NCLEX exam, make sure you review as many NCLEX related questions as you can. or I'm sorry, NCLEX style questions as you can. Luckily, the program that I did, they offered a Kaplan class, so it's an NCLEX review exam, NCLEX test review. So they kind of showed us how to take nursing exams, and you guys, nursing exams are not like any regular exams. It's kind of like 2 answers are wrong 100%, and then there's 2 more answers that are left, and they're both correct, but which one is more correct? So it kind of like drives you crazy. But yeah, just do questions. Do as many questions as you can. Buy books. Go over, you know, all the books that you purchase. They usually have like questions in the back of every chapter. There's NCLEX study guide books. Online you could download, you know, trials and things like that. So just make sure you take a good chunk of every day. I would say maybe like an hour of each day. And do questions. So they actually recommend that by the time I think you're done with the nursing program, you have gone through 10,000 questions, NCLEX style questions, to prep you for the NCLEX. So just do questions. That's all I did, and I passed. I was super nervous. It was actually my friend Jerica who messaged me, letting me know that I was licensed. So it was super scary because it's kind of like, you know it or you don't. Is drawing blood hard? So luckily we have phlebotomists that draw our blood. We do draw bloods on central lines, from ports and things like that patients have. So central lines and ports are pretty much like a line that is used for longer periods of time, as opposed to like an IV line. Regular IV you cannot draw blood from. They do have some IVs that they're doing pilots on, like educational, you know, they're piloting on some floors where you could do lab draws, but no, you cannot draw blood from regular IVs. But like I said, we have phlebotomists, so they go around the floors and they do our blood draws. So we don't do them at the hospital where I work at. How do I deal with stress? So I feel like how I deal with stress is I shop. I try to treat myself, and I go to the gym. So I try to go to the gym at least 3 times a week. That's just like for my own sanity, and it's just something that makes me feel better, like inside, outside, all around. Like it's just amazing. Shopping, it just gives me some satisfaction that I can't get from anything else, and I know it's so bad, and I know it like has to stop, but it's honestly like anything. Like I could go grocery shopping and I could be okay. And then just me time. It's just nice when I'm alone sometimes, like if I go do my nails, or if I'm just breathing my own air by myself. Just me time. And that's pretty much it. So you guys, I hope I answered a good chunk of your guys' questions. I 100% recommend you guys all that are currently interested in nursing to follow your dreams. Make sure you don't ever let anybody, you know, bring you down, tell you you can't do something, because you can do anything your heart desires. Just push yourself. Nothing comes easily. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So just remember, you know, that you can. It just sucks for a little bit. Nursing school is only 2 years, guys, so you'll just be miserable for 2 years. Just kidding. No, but I mean, in a nutshell, it's not the greatest time, but you know, now, like me, you know, I work 3 days. I'm off for, you know, 4 days, sometimes off for like a week. You could schedule yourself certain ways where you know, spread out your days and you have a good chunk of days off. So that's nice about nursing. I think that's pretty much it in a nutshell. I do 100% recommend you guys to go to a community college first, or enroll in a dual enrollment nursing program. It is 100% the cheapest way to do it. If you have grant scholarships to a university, by all means take that route, you know, but If you are looking to get a bang for your buck, make sure you guys check out your, you know, community colleges and the programs that they offer, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what school you went to, you guys, at all. Coming from a nurse, all your employer cares about is that you have a license in good standing, and that's pretty much it. So that's that in a nutshell. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If I did forget anything, please let me know. I'm sorry that I was kind of like, ooh, you know, all over the video, but I just have a lot of like sal and sauce for like parts and questions and answers. So I just hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you guys have any other questions, if you guys want to see other sit-down videos, like a tell-all about anything else. Yeah, that's it. So I'll see you guys on our next video.